Andrew Tate put out a video. Everyone's talking about him.
Everybody's talking about Tate.
He put out this video recently about depression, and it really just
tell me about it. What is it?
He pretty much was talking about Robin Williams.
Okay.
And this is there's not 1 second of what he said that I can disagree with.
Okay.
This is what was amazing when I said depression wasn't real. I said, if all you, because I was getting attacked by, all the Avatar Anon characters, I'm depressed, you don't understand, my friend killed himself, blah, blah, blah. I was like, listen, if depression is really so horrible, why are you all defending it so fervently? So it's real, it's so powerful, it's real. Why are you defending this horrible thing? Why don't you sit there and go, you know what, you're right, Andrew, fuck depression. But they want to defend it because it's an identity. It's something that allows them to feign individuality. It's something that allows them to, it's an excuse. It's a ready-made excuse for all of life's failures. I'm a loser, but it's not my fault. But depression. That's all it is. It's a fucking coping mechanism. I don't believe it. I do not believe in depression. I believe if you really feel terrible and someone were to come along and give you $10 million, you'd probably feel a bit better. Also, just to quickly touch on this, because every time I say this, people come at me and think they're smart. And they say, well, what about Robin Williams? He was famous, he killed himself, blah, blah, blah. And I say, yeah, and I'll tell you why he killed himself. He killed himself because of people like you who are telling him depression is real, not people like me.
Right.
When Robin Williams was in therapy for 10 years. If he would have walked into his first therapy session and his therapist said, look, Robin, you're a millionaire, you're famous, you can fuck any woman alive. You coming here is insulting to people with PTSD and genuine conditions, which I believe is different. If you've been through some real shit in a war, fine, you could be depressed. If you're just Joe Schmo and nothing's happened to you, you have no reason to be depressed. I'd say, look, Robin, you've got a fantastic life. You coming here is insulting to people with real issues. Grow up and get the fuck out my office. I guarantee he'd still be alive. But instead, they start giving him mind-altering drugs, antidepressants, they fuck with his brain chemistry, they tell him to sit down, and for 10 years, every day, go through every bad thing that's ever happened to you, so you cry your eyes out. After 10 years of that, I'd jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
Of course, he thought, I can't handle another one of this therapy bullshit. And the whole time, they're telling him, you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better. Depression's got you now. There's nothing you can do. It's in your brain. Like, come on, man. This whole idea of depression being the scariest thing in the world is what's making people kill themselves. You're giving these people no hope.
Robin Williams committed suicide.
Yeah.
Robin Williams was wealthy. He was loved. He was funny. He was charming. He committed suicide. Yeah. And he said, and Tate said, I think the problem with what happened with Robin Williams was that his therapists took him over the edge. If I was his therapist, I'd say, you're rich, you're successful, you're funny, you can get whatever woman you want.
Right.
There are people who have it so much worse than you. What the hell are you complaining about? But he articulated, honestly, he articulated better than I did.
He's a very articulate dude.
And there are so many people that will get triggered and all bitter about this. But it's like, in the grand scheme of things, buddy, what the hell are you complaining about? It's like, you might have challenges. We're not negating you have challenges. But when he sat down with these therapists, the likelihood is that these therapists wanted a profit, and he was in therapy for 10 years. So what are these therapists telling him constantly? It's okay to feel depressed. It's okay to be negative. It's okay to be unhappy. And they're validating his feelings instead of saying, buddy, get off your ass. Stop feeling bad. Sorry for yourself.
But this is, and I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying.
I know this is tough love, man, and people will disagree with me. But the reality, bro, is it's perspective. It's like,
it's all about perspective. But this is the question. This is a question, right? Not that I necessarily take this stance, but what more does he have to strive for? I mean, he can strive for more, of course, but he's already at this apex of life. You know, think about it. He's already here, and I'm sure he's just lived and enjoyed it for a number of years, decades, whatever it is, right? But eventually, you know, maybe that got boring to him. Maybe that got
so boring is not enough.
Maybe boring. Listen, whatever. Boring is just a word. Maybe he felt like he did not have more to strive for, right? I don't necessarily know. I'm just speculating to conversation, right? but
I'm going to go out and say. I'm going to come out and say this. I think the only time somebody has a valid excuse for suicide is if they were in war.
No, I'm not condoning suicide, by the way.
If they were at a war and saw their friend's head get blown off, or literally outside.
Well, you don't know what he
outside
went
of a brutal war. Outside of a brutal war, I really, I can't say I don't understand suicidal thoughts to some degree.
Okay, I think that what we should do, and
I know this is very heavy, dude.
No, I'm down with this conversation, but I think that most people can't really relate to Robin Williams in this whole scenario. But what's your take on the average man, or the man who is contemplating suicide who's not Robin Williams? Because I think that's a lot more applicable to this conversation and people that are listening to this conversation.
I think suicide is a cowardly thing to do, and my grandmother told me this.
I'm with you on
my grandmother had a very, 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 very hard childhood.